Welcome to your peaceful bedtime story. Relax, breathe deeply, and let go of the day. If you enjoy this calm journey, please subscribe to see more soothing stories. Now, let the journey begin. The train that never rushed. There was a train that didn't follow time. No schedules, no hurry, no final stop. Just a rhythm. Slow, steady, like a soft breath moving through a quiet dream. It waited at the edge of a forgotten platform surrounded by wildflowers and tall grass, the air thick with silence that calmed the chest. It was called the Solstice Line. Elias stood on that platform one warm dusk. He hadn't planned to come. There were no tickets, no signs, but something in him, a quiet, persistent whisper, told him this was where he needed to be. The train was already waiting. Deep green paint, windows glowing gold, and an open door that didn't creak, just breathed open like a soft invitation. Elias stepped inside. The carriage was gentle, velvet seats and quiet shades of blue, wooden walls, brass lanterns that flickered softly, casting warmth without heat. No sharp sounds, no rush, just calm. A few passengers sat quietly, each in their own world, reading, thinking, resting. No one spoke, not because of rules, but because there was no need. Elias found a window seat. The cushion welcomed him, like it had been shaped by his weight before. Outside, the train began to move. No announcement, no jolt. It just glided, like a thought drifting in a still mind. The landscape passed in soft blurs, fields dotted with fireflies, forests swaying in the breeze, river sparkling under the rising moon. Elias leaned against the window, his body slowly unclenching. He hadn't realized how long he'd carried tension in his shoulders, jaw, breath. The train didn't ask him to do anything. It simply carried him. "First time?" a voice asked. He turned. An older woman stood beside his seat. She wore a shawl and held a small cup of tea. "Yes," Elias said. "Then you're exactly where you're meant to be." She smiled and took the seat across from him. "I'm Miriam." "Elias." Miriam nodded slowly, like she already knew. "Most people find this train when they're not looking for it," she said, sipping her tea. "When they're tired, not just in the body, but deep down, when they need quiet more than answers." Elias looked out the window. The stars had come out, scattered across a velvet sky. The trees passed like silhouettes in a dream. "What's the destination?" he asked. "There isn't one," Miriam said softly. "Not in the usual sense. The train doesn't rush. It just goes where it needs to go. And so do we." They sat in silence. The rhythm of the train was hypnotic, not mechanical, but natural, like the ocean, always shifting, always soft. An owl called from somewhere in the distance. "Time feels strange here," Elias said. "It doesn't matter much here," Miriam replied. "Some ride for an hour, others for days. But when they step off, it's always the right time." The train slowed. It didn't stop, just eased by a platform with a sign, "Still water." A man with a cane stepped off. A girl followed with a stack of notebooks. No one looked back. The train moved on. Elias stayed. Later, a young man walked through offering tea in small cups. No payment, just kindness. "Try this," he said. "Chamomile with a little vanilla." Elias took a sip. It tasted like warmth, like the first breath after a long cry. The lights dimmed slightly, matching the darkness outside. Lanterns glowed like fireflies. Shadows danced softly on the walls. Elias leaned back. He didn't sleep, but drifted. His thoughts slowed. No stories, no urgency, just floating stillness. He saw himself as a child, sitting quietly on a porch swing beside his grandmother, watching crickets. He saw a long, aimless night walk. Cool air, quiet streets, no destination. He saw himself lying on a hill, staring at stars, not searching, just breathing. Through it all, the train carried him. At some point, Miriam had left. A folded note sat where she'd been. Elias opened it. Neat handwriting read, "You don't need to arrive. You just need to rest." He smiled. It made sense now. The sun began to rise. Light spilled over hills and fields. The windows glowed with morning gold. Birds began to sing, not loudly, but gently, like the world was waking up slowly. The train kept moving. Elias stayed. He sipped tea. He breathed. He watched the sky. He let stillness be enough. And maybe one day, he'd step off. But not yet. Because this was the train that never rushed. And neither did he. Thank you for joining this peaceful journey. If you enjoyed this story, consider subscribing for more calm bedtime experiences. Sleep well, and good night.